U.G. Krishnamurti. He was like what the mind, you see, the mind has been proven to have preferences. You see, I respect this one, I don't respect that one. So it has made itself comfortable with a divisive technique. Now that's okay. In our human world, that's how we live. I'm not here, the speaker's not here to talk about the human aspects like UG did. The human aspects of whatever is taking place in your life, and there are countless people, minds in your environment, on YouTube, in social media, everywhere, politics, that will discuss that these what you would call topics, the topics of life. It's important to know about U.G. Krishnamurti, because one thing that he was ignored for, not in the human way. You see, he speaks about the social aspects, the mind, the constructed way of life, the system, the social, and these are all necessary in your human world. Everyone, no one is exempt from complying, from choice, from agreeing or disagreeing, from behaving or misbehaving. All these ways that humans have loved the divisiveness of being singular and having some sort of drama in their life. You see, the human life is drama. It is drama. But it still is not disassociated with your pure conscious state. So I want to just talk about, it's impossible to separate the human from the being, okay? But for now, for this few minutes, we're not talking about the human. So, what it is, the human body that accepts the words, it is the human body, it is the human conditioned programmed mind that has meanings for the statements, the words, and whatever is taking place. So it's very difficult. You see, you have speakers like Rupert Shearer who talk only about the beingness, consciousness. But it's very important to know, before we go on, is to say, whatever this speaker is saying, and you can take whatever you want from any other speaker, including your teacher, your partner, whatever, that it matters not what I say. It matters not what I say to you. It matters not what this I projects to you, because it's only projecting through its own experience. Now, to share is to say, true sharing is to say, I can share what I experienced, but what I really want to share is that you, whoever you are able and are here solely for your own ultimate or penultimate or simple, minuscule experience to discover the truth about what you are. So to share and say, this is how it is for all, it's not true. So the speaker is always saying, as it is for the experience of the one that realize that what it is. Let's go back to Yuji. What has been missed? What has been missed? You see, one thing that Yuji speaks about, I don't know, you can correct me, but I've never heard another speaker spend a moment of time, a moment of mental, addressing what he means. In science, or in an individual component of what the human makes up, science, religion, spirituality, atheism, communism, capitalism, broken up shit, broken up. In science, Stephen Hawking, he talks about the Big Bang. But Yuji, he says, only one pulse. Now the speaker understands very, very similar shock experience, different projections, different sharings, different outcomes, different individual conditioned spiritual soulful experience, mine from Yuji and also from yours and every other individual in this extreme universe. What does it mean, you see? The voice I heard, you said, not inner or outer, you see, the voice, where does the voice come out there? Does it come in here, in here? The voice, only one moment. Boom. It's described in a way to say 1 second, one pulse, one moment. What is the pulse? What is this moment? Is it something that comes and goes? Can the pulse come and go? The pulse is that truth, that mirror that gives life to itself through its consciousness. The mirror being, you can call it God, because only the mirror exists. The mirror encompasses its consciousness. It encompasses its I-ness. So this pulse encompasses or is made up of words, mirror, consciousness, I. It is the same thing, but it is the ability, when all three meet, to project and pulsate itself continuously. No diminishing, no enhancing, no dying. Pulsing, pulsing. Why does this happen? How does this happen? The shock of seeing, I mean, we have examples that are nearly true. When you beat a drum, boom, the echo, it goes on and on. That drum song goes on and on into the, the atmosphere, and then it fades. This moment, this pulse, this mirror, this consciousness, this I, it never fades. It never extracts. It never detracts. It's the same, pulsating, all. We cannot use the word time because it's never not. There could be a beginning, you see. The beginning is you, the I. Now, did I begin at the same time as mirror consciousness saw itself? My God, look at me. Did I come secondary? How, you see, within the pulse, it's like within the universe. Everything happens in a periodical way, in a time-based way. So in truth, did this I and consciousness and initial primary mirror have a sequence? Mirror, conscious, I, life. Or did it all happen simultaneously? Is everything happening simultaneously? Now, again, I must repeat, this is the experience of myself. You see, this one moment has no beginning. It has no end. It is not fluctuating. It is not moving. It is contentment. It is flat line. It is with no breaks, with no pauses. So the human form that I am, when I am is just I am, is that reconnection to that whole truth. But you cannot just say I am and reconnect to the whole truth, because you've created a veil. Well, I had created a veil, a masquerade, to deny the mirror, God, to deny consciousness, and to deny I, by putting the whole world before me, by putting everything as more important than this me, this I. Now you don't go to the other end of the scale and say, well, I'm the most important thing and nothing else is relevant. The pulse only beats exquisitely pure when everything is like a Buddhist state, balanced. This is non-duality, because there's nothing out there that is more important than I. And there's this I that is nothing more important than anything out there, or in here, in science, in religion, in atheism. So you have deep, profound respect for yourself. And therefore you have deep and profound respect for the world as it is, nature, the universe. No, I prefer Venus to Mars. It doesn't compute. You see, it doesn't compute to truth to have division. You see? So the veil in the masquerade is all the conditioned programming for many, many lives, until the veil becomes so thick that the suffering and depression and anxiety says, I don't know what to do anymore. I give up. I've tried everything. I've tried this way, I've tried that way. I've tried this life, I've tried that life. You know, I've tried everything in my power, my whole mental constructed power in all my lives, and I still cannot discover what it is. And the whole problem is the trying. You see, I want to know. Papaji, well, you must watch the video on Papaji and this word want. Okay, I want to know. I need to know. I have a desire to find truth. These are all little veils, because how can you find truth when you are the truth, you see? So the dehypnosis, the Ramana Maharshi method, the suffering to the extent of I don't care, I don't mind, I'm giving up, I surrender everything, I surrender my whole psychological constructed mind. I'm not surrendering to the speaker in satsang. I'm not surrendering to the book, the Bhagavad Gita. I'm not surrendering to Christ. I'm not surrendering to the Bible. I'm not surrendering to God. I'm surrendering to myself. I am surrendering to myself. Now this myself is not up there. That's just a constructed, beautiful organism that keeps the human body going on so you can enjoy this human existence and moving body. The whole problem is up there when the mind antagonizes the brain, questions the brain, questions the information, always questioning the same stuff that I've already created as my veil. Rupert Shira puts it beautifully. And I'm going to describe it in a more working class common way. If you have this, do you remember that bomb? Hiroshima? Okay. Imagine everything in the universe was contained inside that smoke. Okay. Everything is contained. Infinite galaxies. And you're looking from the outside right now. Okay? It's important that you look at the whole thing. You cannot see landscapes around it, everything. Everything is contained, but you are this, whatever you are, outside this whole beautiful cascade of stillness within this smoke. Now, what is taking place is that is consciousness. We're going to replace this Hiroshima with pure, undiluted consciousness. This consciousness is where you're looking from. But you want to see yourself as this consciousness. So consciousness wants to see itself. So in its mirror, conscious state, it gives life to its eye looks out, you follow the tunnel out, and you're now looking at this whole consciousness that you are. Everything between you and that inability to see what the speaker has said is a masquerade, is a veil. That one pulse, you come out at the same time, you're in at the same time, so in and out does not make any sense. And if you are clear with this vision, with this seeing, with this knowing, with this experience, with this being, with this non-duality where you look, as Assisi says, when I opened the door of consciousness, that's where I was. Now I'm looking from here, this body. But actually, it's not true. I've created my own body to look at myself. So I'm both looking at the same time, at the same thing, in a non-dual way, and therefore I understand fully my purpose for being here, who I am, what I am. I am consciousness, experiencing and reflecting myself in this way, in this world. My purpose in life was that experience, that pulse, that one moment, that I am. Now, I want to finish again. This is the speaker's experience. This is the speaker's truth. It's undeniable to myself. But I have this knowing from this pure God that it's not right to share or to pretend. Sharing meaning to say, this is how it is for everyone. No, the sharing is you have that whole time. If you want to use time, you may not experience it in this life. But when you trust yourself, when you look at life with no thoughts, with no questions, with no answers, with no hopes, with no desires, with no wants, it's a possibility in that deep sleep that you're encountering in a meditative state that this pulse will wake you up. But I don't know for you. Just to join Vedanta, to join Christianity, to join Catholicism, is to create more veils for this one. You see, I want to spend this whole life in this clarity. So everything that comes, that Ramana Maharshi method. Not this, not this. Thank you. Not this, not this. This 20-minute video, yeah, is taking place right now for me. It will be uploaded, possibly shared by you in 4 days' time. But when it's, whatever happens, once it's done, it never happened for me. There's nothing in the past that has happened. There's nothing in the future that will happen. Because in the present moment, there's only this consciousness that I am looking at myself, and whatever takes place as a reflection of that I am. And this is the Bible that God says. I don't have to read the Bible anymore. I understand the Bible fully. The Bible is simply reflect purely what you are, with no mental mind, story, attachment, theories. You think this is a theory? It's not a theory, it's an experience, you see. The whole thing is an experience. Consciousness, to see yourself here as what you are, is to experience yourself in a human form, in a soulful form, in a spiritual form. Mind can bring up as many names as it wants. Yeah? But it doesn't matter, because that pulse, that whole encompassing consciousness, that mirror that shines absolutely pristine clearly every single moment of our time life, will never fade. So whatever takes place, you see, the idea that I find God, I found enlightenment, therefore I will be projected up the ladder of consciousness, or I will never come back because I've done my task, I've done my job, or I may have to go through it again, or I want to go through it again, is not in your hands as a human, as a mind. It's always in your hands as the truth that you are, because you can make that decision when this body goes. You can make any decision what you want when this body goes, negotiating with what this pure consciousness is. If you're there, we will negotiate further in all kinds of experiences, infinite life experiences. Consciousness is all that exists. The mirror of consciousness is pure I and consciousness, and the mirror itself ejaculating in one moment to become one with God. I don't know if it makes sense to you, but it makes absolute sense to this I, this person, this me, this mind. Because mind is happy not being there at that moment, but is totally respectful of what it represents now. Are you representing, are you reflecting yourself? In a human world, we'll never ever get it right. So if you want to continue with the human world, trying your hardest to find God, to find this, to seek better jobs, to get a bigger house, to be a better parent, then that's what we do. That's the creation of ego. A temporary creation that will be taken away when this whole pulse that Yuji Krishnamurti eloquently says, but is missed. There is only one heartbeat, one pulse, one moment, one mirror, one eye. And all is that, but all will see it in their own time vessel, in their own mind, in their own removal of their own veil, their own masquerade. I don't believe in speaking in satsangs and telling the world that this is how we all are. That's not fair on you. It's taking away the most pure and precious moment that you'll ever encounter with yourself. This is ultimate enlightenment, to let everything be as it is and respect every single human and whatever it does. In the human world, of course, there are fluctuations of emotional response. But in our being world, I love you as myself.